A warm welcome. This lecture series video on teaching aptitude deals with effective teaching practices. Effective teaching practices include maxims of teaching and principles of teaching. Principles of teaching further consist of general principles and psychological principles. Maxims of teaching are fundamental principles of teaching. These are as follows. From simple to complex, teaching should begin with simple ideas from day-to-day examples and gradually introduce concepts and technical terms. It leads to better retention. From known to unknown, it is related to the first maxim. It leads to better retention when new knowledge is linked with prerequisite knowledge. From seen to unseen, present knowledge should be imparted first so that the students can understand the past and the future better. From concrete to abstract, concrete objects lead to better mental development of students. They become familiar with and define microwords for them at a later stage. From particular to general, students should be presented with examples first, and then general laws and their derivations can be explained to them. The experiments and demonstrations serve this purpose. From whole to part, Gestalt psychologists have proved that we first see the whole object and then its parts. Thus, the introduction or overview of the topics is important. From indefinite to definite, indefinite knowledge should be transformed into definite knowledge by the teacher. From psychological to logical, during initial stages, psychological order is more important, whereas for grown-up learners, logical order is emphasized more. From analysis to synthesis, analysis refers to dividing problems into its constituent parts and then studying these parts. Synthesis means understanding by connecting the knowledge acquired through analyzing the parts. A teacher should use analytic synthetic method. Follow nature. It refers to regulating education of a pupil according to his or her nature. Training of senses. Main proponents of this maxim are Montessori and Froebel. The senses such as sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch are gateways to knowledge. All or maximum of these senses should be applied in teaching to achieve better results. Encouragement to self-study. Dalton's system is based on self-study. There is no formal class instruction involved. General principles. Principle of motivation. It creates curiosity among students to learn new things. Principle of activity, learning by doing. Froebel's kindergarten KG system is based on this principle. It includes both physical and mental activities. For example, students are asked to make charts and models. Principle of interest. By generating genuine interest among the learner's community, the effectiveness of the teaching-learning process can be increased. Principle of linking with life. Life is a continuous experience, and learning linked with life can be more enduring. Principle of definite aim. This is important for optimum utilization of teaching resources and making learning more focused. Principle of recognizing individual differences. Every student is unique in terms of intelligence, attitude, abilities, and potentialities, and socioeconomic background. The teaching method should be devised in such a manner to make all the students avail equal opportunities in life. Principle of selection. The teacher should be able to pick contents that can be more relevant and updated to the learner's objectives. Principle of planning. Every teacher has certain time-bound objectives, and hence, teaching should be systematic to make optimum use of resources within the time limit. Principle of division. To make learning easier, the subject matter should be divided into units, and there should be links between the units. Principle of revision. To make learning enduring, the acquired knowledge should be revised immediately and repeatedly. Principle of creation and recreation. This principle makes the classroom environment humorous and creative. Principle of democratic dealing. It entails students in planning and executing different activities. It helps in developing self-confidence and self-respect among the learners. Principle of motivation and interest. A teacher needs to understand that every student is a unique psychological entity and a student can be motivated after identifying his or her motives and needs. Principle of recreation. Recreation is necessary to tackle fatigue after attending lengthy classes. This breaks monotony and prepares students for learning again. Principle of repetition and exercise. This is specifically true in case of small children. Principle of encouraging creativity and self-expression. This is specifically applicable in subjects such as mathematics and in learning languages. Principle of sympathy and cooperation. This principle is required for the motivation of students. Principle of reinforcement. Students should be suitably rewarded for their desired behavior. Principle of imparting training to senses. The use of multimedia makes many senses get involved simultaneously, which is crucial for enduring learning. Principle of remedial teaching. This principle is necessary for the teacher to identify mistakes and suggest better answers to the problems. If you found this video useful, please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.